greatest place that some of you wish you were. Some of you one day will be. So as you can see, I am your man, Mr. GQ. We got DJ Micah B down there on the bottom. And of course, we got us a special guest over off to the side. You want to go ahead and tell the people who you are, my friend?
Hey, man, it's your boy, Troy, FTSL Troy. Thank you guys for having me, man. I appreciate this, man.
Yeah, man. We've been bragging about you. We actually talked about y'all's pod quite a bit on the last episode. We was like, hey, man.
That.
Yeah, because I've been telling him about all the experience that I've been having since, being on there with y'all and how great it is. And so Troy here is the other NBA brain. So you two will hit it off perfectly when it comes to
there we go.
NBA. I'm a big NBA guy.
So what we like to do here in the lounge, like I said, we like to keep it comfortable. We like to keep it chilled. We like to kind of let the world kind of find out and figure out, who's involved. So, we know you guys have a From the Sidelines pod that's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. You guys are on all major platforms.
Yeah, all major platforms.
Yeah, so that's been
Google
great.
Podcast too. You find this out there, man.
You gotta be on Google Podcast.
Gotta be on Google Podcast to be official.
Google. Hey. So I can't listen to Apple on this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's all right. Apple loves us. I know from everything I've seen, the close we've gotten as high as number 68.
Oh, that's what's up.
In the hobbies category for our podcast, which has been cool.
No, that's good.
Still
pushing, man.
Still trying to crack that top 30. So you can actually see us, in the rankings.
Right, you see your name there, like
yeah,
it's crazy.
Hey, good things are coming. All right,
yeah,
good things are coming.
So let's dive into before we start getting into the interview section of it. I want to get into a little backstory. I kind of want you to tell the people how you got started with From the Sidelines. Like, how did it come about?
Want to hear something funny? I knew you was going to ask me this question.
I'm glad you knew that. I'm glad you knew that.
I'm sitting here, I'm like, he's going to ask me, how did I get started? So I'll try to keep it not so long, but it's a long story. So about, I would say 4 years ago, I was, I got to be PG?
No, we explicit as hell around here.
All right, fuck that. All right.
Did you fucking ask if it's explicit or not?
I wanted to make sure. I wanted to ruin your show, bro.
Nah, you good. Look.
So you grown, bro.
Word, that's how I feel, That's why I let loose on hours too. But about 4 years ago, I was sitting in my cousin's bathroom and we were smoking something. And I was at this time I have been talking about doing something, an anime, a podcast was one of the things I wanted to do. So we started to try to put together an anime, and let's just say that didn't work out. Don't want to go too far, but the anime did not work out. So I left it alone, and another year goes by, and I'm still sitting here like I want to do something. I want to do something. All right, let's just do the podcast. Let's see if the podcast will work. So one of my female cousins hit me up and she was like, yo, I got a podcast. Won't you be the co-host? I'm like, word. But come to find out, it was shaky at best. It was shaky at best. So at that point, my best friend, like you guys are, he was like, yo, let's stop fucking around and let's just do a pod. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. But we both wanted to bring my cousin in, who was also in on an anime with us. And we brought him in and we came up with the name Dirty Diaper, which was the concept of three fathers. Right, which was the concept of three fathers talking shit. Yeah, that's all it was. Three fathers talking shit. And the logo was dope, man. It was a hamburger with a diaper on it with a mic in front. Like it was a cool setup, but it didn't work out. So me and my best friend pivot, and we came up with What's Up, Brother? Which was a saying my landlord used to always say it to me. He was, I think he was either Irish or Russian. I can't remember, but he used to, everything he said, he ended with, brother, what's up, brother? Like, and to where me and my roommate, we started to adopt it and my best friend was always around me. So we came up with the show, What's Up, Brother? And we did it for like 6 months. He had something personal happen, so he could no longer do it. So then I was just sitting there again, like, what am I going to do?
Back to the drawing board.
And if you go to From the Sideline, all one word, on YouTube, right? And you go down and you find the first video, it's just me. It is just me because I refuse to let it go to waste. I was like, I'm not going to let, my ambitions or what I want to do, the motivation I have to to stop because, you know, personal things do happen. So how do I pivot now and make some? So I took a little break. I came up with a concept for a show, and it was on paper, and I sat there for 2 weeks, and I was like, nah, I got to do it. So I turned my camera on and I did it. And at the end of it, I was like, I need some people to talk to. I didn't want to talk to myself. Like, look, you would never know if you don't try. I tried it, wasn't for me. I don't like talking to myself. So I put a little feelers out on Facebook, just how I found you, Mr. GK.
Yep.
I'm telling you where we originated from. We originated from finding guys on Facebook. I found a couple of guys throughout that process who kicked it with me for about, I want to say 6 months. I had a guy. I mean, shout out all these guys, man, because I wouldn't be where I am without them. Even though, you know, you do go through ups and downs with people. I had a guy named Pete, man. Shout out Pete. Pete was my co-host for a little bit. He wound up getting a job. And then, you know, I started to bring the other guys on, like Frank, Roy, onto the back end of things. Pete wasn't too happy with it, but at that time, Pete didn't really have enough time on his hand to be a co-host. So we went back and forth. I'm not 100%, you know, right in this situation. You know, we all have our faults. I've learned from, you know, being new at this to how to deal with people so much that the guys on my pod call me diplomatic. Right? I am diplomatic now because I won't go and tell no. I always handle it the correct way. I have proof. But so Pete leaves. It was 5 of us, now it's 4 of us. Then Frank has a death in the family and disappears on us. No word, no nothing. We find out about a week and a half later. He eventually comes back, but it's not the same. So me and him wind up getting into it, and he wound up piecing out on us too. And at this time, Roy, which I love Roy to this day, Roy is one of the few ones that my doors will always be open to. Roy was he was in works to being a nurse, right? And his test came up, and he kept it real with me. He was like, look, my test here, I got to study, I got to pass this thing. He wound up passing it. He became a registered nurse, and he could no longer do it. So he walked away respectfully. I always got respect for Roy. Roy, my boy, I hit him up a couple of weeks ago just to check on him. So they left me and GK. So at that time, I got invited on another podcast, and it was a bigger podcast. I think they were at around 10K.
Oh, good shit.
Around 10K, and we were still at 93 subs on YouTube. So it was a big moment for us. But now I only had 2 members. I really didn't have an identity of where we were gonna go. So me and GK, we went on this show. We went on 2 shows. We went on Saturday and Sunday, and we found a couple of guys within that community and revamped the show and then pushed it out. And then ultimately, to cut the long story short, throughout that period of time, throughout the next 7 to 8 months, is towards the back end is where we meet from the side of Mel, which GQ, you know, Southside Mel, where we meet Mulich. I don't think you met Zamara yet, but we have a female. Yeah, we have a female that's with us named Zamara. We meet them, and these guys are 100% want to be on board, ready to go. So I bring these guys on, and now we're to the point where we want to take it serious. And a couple of those guys that I brought on, you know, they weren't on the same page with us. And shout out to them too, because like I said, without those guys doing what they did for us, we wouldn't be where we are. I'm very humble, you know, and appreciative to those guys for helping me build, you know, the brand I'm trying to build over here. And it's sad that it doesn't work out, but I said this at the end of one of my episodes, and I'll repeat it here. It's whoever was here will always be a brother, whether we ended on good terms or bad terms. It doesn't matter to me, because I'm trying to build a brotherhood, and I want this community to see that it's always love, no matter whether we see eye to eye or not. So they didn't see eye to eye with us. They walked away, and now we are what we are today.
I like it.
That story sounds a lot, just you and your friend just, hey, we should do this. That sounds a lot like ours.
Yeah.
Right. Mr. GQ was just telling me that, and I told him, and I will repeat this to you, DJ. Because I wanted to start with my best friend and things did not go as planned, it made me, you know, happy when he did say, like, me and my best friend wanted to do this, and we did it. Because, you know, even though me and my best friend did it and things got away, I could tell just by meeting Mr. GQ that you guys are going to keep pushing this thing and pushing it and pushing it.
Oh, yeah.
That's all you can ask. So,
Yeah,
you know, shout out to you guys, man.
Yeah, no. So and like I said, so when he found me, like I said, it was on that Facebook group I invited you to, the podcast
Yep,
promotion,
yep.
whatever. He had pushed out a blast like, hey man, I'm looking for guests to be on there, and I was like,
I went back to my roots.
yeah, you
So
know, I'm just
Why the
going,
hell
yeah,
not?
for a long time, like having the other guys on, my identity shifted. So what I had on paper when I first started with just me wasn't the same thing I had at the point where I invited the other guys from the other community on. We had a show that was in the likeness of what those guys were doing.
yeah, of course,
And when you do that, a lot of times doing what other people do can help you gain a following, right? But it's also tricky because you have to do something better than them, right? And not saying that we weren't doing things better than them, but it's a lot that goes into trying to usurp those guys when you're in their shadow. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? And that's the
Yep.
placement, we put ourselves in when we went up there and ultimately took some guys out of that community to come over. They created the atmosphere that they had over there, which didn't work for us. So you get stuck sometimes trying to build something and trying to make, because all the guys that's a part of From the Sideline, Zamara lives in Maryland. I live in New Jersey. Southside is in Las Vegas. Mulich is in Sacramento. Buwap is in Illinois, Chicago. Lamar is moving to LA. Like, these are guys I met on the internet, all different places. So not only are we diverse, but we're from all different likeness of the earth, which brings
So
something spectacular together.
I got a question for you. Going the route that you did like that. What did y'all use to build chemistry? Because I've watched your show.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched y'all show now ever since Mr. GQ been on. So and y'all have hella chemistry. So I want what steps did y'all take to build the chemistry? Because it seemed it just can't be random. It's like this is the guys that mesh.
No, but the crazy thing is you will never know until you sit down with the guys. So
Yeah.
as the they like saying this, I hate saying this. I always say it's our podcast. But me as the leader, right? Me as the front guy of it, I have to be able to scout talent. Right? I have to be able to scout you, and Mr. GQ, you know this, and I'm pretty sure DJ, you have to be able to scout guys that your personality meshes with. So you'll invite a lot of people on. Like, I invited this guy named Tyler on. Shout out to Tyler. But all Tyler did was agree with everything that me and I forgot who else was on with us. But he just agreed. He just kept saying, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. And it's like, yo, that's not going to mesh. But when you meet somebody like Southside, right, that can talk in logic, right, but also he lost his shit once, but that can keep his composure and articulate his points, yo, I can work around that. I could give you, it's like acting, right? I always tell them, you got to learn the value of entertainment, right?
100%.
You got to learn the value of entertainment, because it could be something that's that could be so entertaining, but one of us got so mad that it wasn't entertaining. It was just like, oh damn, like, but we could have made it something so beautiful. We just kept our heads. That's what you find in these guys. So that's what I look for. Always look for how they talk, how they respond to somebody disagreeing to them. If they come with energy, if they're willing to listen, are they cutting people off? Like, you have to, it's like an NBA scout, it's like an NFL scout. You have to scout these things and understand. So you saying it just didn't work? No, it just worked. It just worked. It did. It's like, and I always tell them I'm a good judge of character. Now, sometimes I got it wrong. Like the guys that left, sometimes I got it wrong. I always thought that the people that I have here, they have the same mindset as me. Like, but I tell you this one thing that I don't know if you know who Math Hoffa is.
Yep.
He's a battle rapper who has.
I know. I keep up with the battle rap community.
My expert opinion. But he said something in the light of what he was going through. He said it's hard to build something when you're telling the guys around you to just have faith. Just have faith. And I find a lot of times people just don't have that faith that you have, So when you find guys like Mel, they come along and they're willing to sit on the phone and talk to you. And you get to know them. You get to understand what they're going through and what their point of being here is. I was about to start my own podcast, but God just telling me that this is where I need to be. Okay, no, I could work with that. No, I just love talking sports from Moo. I like what you guys got on here. I want to be a part of that. Okay, I can work with that. But I could tell you something, somebody like Mulich, right? Shout out Mulich.
Yeah.
Mulish didn't come on and connect with us right away. Like his talking points was good, but Mulish would tell you he came on with no energy. And Mr. GQ, you know we're a high energy show.
Yeah, no, 100%. And Mulish is kind of
now you see
yeah,
Mulish? Do you see Mulish now?
Yeah.
And that took me one time to be like, yo, Moo, I just need you to have a little bit more energy. And once he showed me that, I was like, no, you come on full time. So sometimes you see something in somebody and they don't see it yet. And you gotta just give them that little nudge, and that's Mulish. You'll find somebody like Zamar who's like, yo, I want to get into it, but I don't know how I'm gonna be perceived. Look how go watch her when she first came on, watch her now. Her confidence is skyrocket because now she knows like I can sit in a room with men and talk sports and they don't judge me for being a woman. It's just all about comfortability and a give and take. Like I'm not just going to take from you. I'm going to give it too. And that's what builds that chemistry, DJ. That's what builds it like this is like when you see guys that have that same mindset, that's willing to work, willing to put in the time, the money, and the effort. Time, money, and effort, because that's what it takes to build something. That's like, nah, I'm going to do whatever it takes on my end as the leader to make sure I'm doing my part to keep that chemistry going. That's why I make these guys sit down in the meeting. And the first thing we do in the meeting is talk sports.
Yep. See, I like that. And like I said, I learned it from my first episode. I was like, look, I didn't even have to try. I walked in and I felt it. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm in the right environment. I already know where I'm at. So I was like, it was easy to just be me.
But to answer your question, DJ, that's all you had to do is ask, because John, shout out John, my coworker John said the same thing. And I told Mr. GQ before he came on, DJ, my coworker John loves Mr. GQ, loves him. He asks me every week, is he coming back on? Is he coming back on? You got him on this? You got him on Friday? He's coming back on? Like, swear to God, John loves him, bro. Loves him. And I'm like, yo, because you walked in that door, and John was just watching this. He just started watching probably like the last 15 episodes of us. And you walked in that door and he knew what it was. And you walked in and you fit so perfectly in it. So perfectly. And like you said it, you texted me after. It's like, yo, I didn't have to try. Nah, that's the feeling we want to give everybody, whether you agree with it or disagree.
Bro, I'm telling you, I texted him. I was like, "How was it?" He was like, "Man, it was amazing." And then he sent me the link, and I watched the show. I said, "Well, damn, he fits seamlessly in this shit. What the hell?"
That's the vibe you want to give people when you're building something like this. You want people to come in and feel comfortable because you know who's going to look at that. The big guys, the guys you want to come on the shows, the athletes, they're going to look at it like, damn, that guy came on and fit so effortlessly. How am I going to go in there with my personality and fit? I'm going to fit good. Maybe I should, take that step to go on that podcast for 15 minutes just to see.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely very confident when I finally get to come on y'all podcast.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's Monday, man. Monday. I got another guy on, too. He's a LeBron guy, so you better get ready.
Yeah,
he's a LeBron guy. Oh God.
Oh yeah.
He gonna have fun with that. But
I'm gonna have fun with that person.
Me too.
Yeah. So that's one thing. Like in the lounge is something we like to highlight. We like to kind of learn who the person is behind the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We see the shows, we see what everybody does, but it's like, who are you?
Right.
When the camera's not recording, when you're not live on YouTube, on Facebook, on wherever,
I'm playing Call of Duty and Horizon Dawn. Take care of my kids.
Hey, I ain't even mad at you. So,
but I appreciate that because it's the beauty in it is like people want to know who you are.
100%.
People could respect your sport takes, but they want to know who they're invested into because a lot of people don't understand when they're getting into a business like this. People are going to invest in you. And it's not just about the money, right? Because a lot of these guys, they'll donate to you because they mess with you. It's not about that for us. It's about them feeling like a community. I want a guy in the community to be going through something, and it doesn't take us on a podcast. It takes somebody else in that community to be like, yo, what you need? What you need? How can I help you? What can I do to help you get through the hard times that you're going through?
100%.
That's what we want to build, and that's all it's about. But a lot of people, they look at it like money first. It's build that community so it's stable and they know what it's on. We don't tolerate the disrespect. You can say whatever you want, but be respectful.
Yeah.
You know how many people have come over disrespect and now they don't disrespect? It's not about me changing your mind. It's just about me changing your approach.
Right.
That's all it is. And people, they invest in that. They invest in you. Like, how many people I watch and people like, yo, you don't know how you saved my life. That's the messages you want from your fans. Because what people don't realize on the other side of not our screens, but the screens of the people that's watching us, they're human too. They're going through stuff too.
Yeah.
And I always empathize with that. Like, I know my life is hard. I can just imagine what you guys' lives go.
Yeah, and that's why we love what we do. Like when we do the pod, like we have a group. We have a group of people. They always like, hey, bro, what's going on? We didn't see the pod come out on Thursday. Like, what's going on? Like people at work, they drive all day. They're listening to the pod. Like that's how they get through their day on a Thursday. And it's like, because of what you guys do, whether y'all talking about sports or like season 1 was probably one of the craziest things we ever did because we was all over the place. But we was on sports. We started talking relationship stuff. To a point where we had a very particular episode. Like when we looked at because you talked about me and you talked about this before we went live. We talked about the numbers that got the pod. So there was this time, I could know where I'm going with this already. There was a time period from like April 18th to like April 27th where we just skyrocketed. And it's because we had a topic and we talked about toxic people and how toxic people ruin good people. So what it ended up doing is it ended up sparking a setup to where all of a sudden my ex ended up feeling like I was talking about her and ended up hitting me up in my DMs and dropped some other shit. Oh yeah, it turned into a whole other thing. So it got to a point where one of her friends, because you know how Anchor, you deal with Anchor like we do. So her friend had sent a voice recording and started saying some shit. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna let it go. Bad idea. I let it go, but then it started stewing. And that was like a pressure cooker. And I was like, you know what? Forget that. So season 1
are done.
Yeah. So season 1, the last 2 episodes, like we had to break it into like 4 parts. Because when I dropped these bombs, like I dropped bombs. Like I went the fuck off. Like
there you go.
But I just watched the controversy caused the ratings to go up. And I was like, damn, like I don't want our show to be based on controversy, but because of that instance happening, like you just talked about behind the screen, some real life stuff happened. It leaked into the show, and it was like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and take it and run with it since it's already happening.
Right.
Because just like, and I tell everybody, I say, listen, what I won't do, even if I'm gonna quote unquote talk about you, I'm never gonna drop your name because I don't believe in free clout. I'm not gonna give you free clout, not on my platform.
You see what I did? I only dropped the people the old people's name. I didn't drop nobody new.
Like I'm not gonna do that because I'm not gonna give you a chance to get boosted up because of something I said.
No light. We ain't flashing no light on you. Love you. I respect you, but
you can call me. Yeah, you call me Eminem with this. I'm gonna say it with the lyrics, and you're gonna figure out by reading the lyrics who I'm talking about.
There you go.
That's it.
Call it subliminal all you want. I don't care.
I don't give a damn. Check these metaphors and watch what I do.
There you go.
So I like how we did that. So let's go ahead and let's get our pivot on. So I know you guys talked about it on your show yesterday, but we had planned it. Was like, we'll save it for today. So let's talk about these reactions to these NFL awards yesterday. So not yesterday, before yesterday. No, yesterday. Yeah, no, Friday, whenever they came out.
Friday.
But it was a big deal. We had an idea. We kind of knew who the favorites were, but then you were like, maybe some things will, change up a little bit. But of course, we starting at the top. We saw that Patrick Mahomes ended up winning the MVP.
I called it.
And I'm not like it. And we talked about it too. I was like, I wasn't mad about it, but I do feel like if Jalen Hurts doesn't get hurt, I think Jalen Hurts may have gotten enough votes to pull it off. But then you go back and look at the numbers, and you're like, people just forgot what Mahomes did all season in totality.
I'll give you maybe 2 to 3 things. Let's think about beginning of the season. They lost Tyreek Hill. Everybody was saying Chiefs finished last in the division, right? There's no way they make the playoffs.
Well, if they thought the Raiders was going to be better than them, people was tripping.
They did.
That's so crazy to me that people thought that shit.
They did. The second thing is people forgot who Patrick Mahomes is, right? And I told them this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he doesn't have Tyreek. He's going to find a way to get it done. The third thing is, right? He's the only quarterback that threw 40 touchdowns. The only one this year.
Yeah, he threw 41, huh?
Yeah, 41. He's the only one. And the only one that threw 5,000 yards. With no Tyreek Hill. The team that people said was going to be nothing, right? He couldn't get it done. He has no weapons, right? How many different wide receivers did he throw to this year?
At least,
my man was out there looking like Tom Brady, bro. I'm not going to lie to you.
He threw to MVS. He threw to
in the championship game. Both of his key wide receivers go down.
Yeah, because he lost Mecole Hardman, and he lost Darius Toney.
And Juju.
Yeah, and Juju. He did lose Juju.
So he lost all 3 of them.
Oh yeah, Juju in the first quarter. He lost Juju in the first quarter.
Still find a way to pull it out, and that's why I tell people Patrick Mahomes is very dangerous. You cannot sleep on a quarterback like that. He's a generational talent. I don't think like people when you look at Aaron Rodgers, right? He's a generational talent, but I think Patrick Mahomes and what he's doing is a cause of that, right? Yeah, it's a cause of seeing what this guy can do. Okay, what can I add to that? And now, and like I said, because some guys on my podcast said, if you put Lamar and then KC. It makes the team better.
I was on that episode. Yeah,
you put Patrick on. What I'm saying is he makes them better in the run game. But can he, whether you blame it on Patrick or not, when the play gets broken, when you have to scramble, and you don't have this space to run, and you're getting pulled by your ankle, can you make that throw? Patrick can. How many times have we seen him do a little flip pass to get himself out of trouble, and it completes it and it goes up the field? That's his brain. Like even if he caused that play. Or he didn't make the right read down the field when he had the earlier throw, he still makes something out of nothing. So I knew that Patrick was just going to find a way to do it. And I love Patrick as a quarterback. I'm not a Chiefs fan. I'm a Giants fan. But I just knew everybody putting that hate on him. There you go. Everybody putting that hate on him. Nah, he going to show you guys like I don't need Tyreek. I don't need Tyreek. I can do this, and he did it. And you got to give that man the MVP.
So there was an episode on the podcast, and I'm pretty sure you remember this, GQ, that I sat there and said, "Yo, is it possible that with Tyreek leaving and things like that, and people didn't see this coming from Patrick Mahomes, is it possible that he has been underrated in his career and how good he is as a quarterback? Because people see Patrick Mahomes and be like, well, if Tyreek Hill wasn't there, he wouldn't be doing this, and if Travis Kelce wasn't there, he wouldn't have been doing this, but he's doing it still." So I'm pretty sure you remember that. And I was like, yo, it's possible that we underrated Patrick Mahomes as a quarterback, even though everybody had him as a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah, because what we got to see was a quarterback in a perfect situation. We don't get to see that very often. A quarterback that gets to take over the reins, but there's already an established team in place. You don't see that very often. Usually the quarterback kind of comes in and they're still trying to add pieces here and there, a couple trades, like I said, Alex Smith was successful in this system.
Oh yeah.
So was
I wouldn't say the system is the same though.
No, it's not. But I mean,
similar.
Travis Kelce was already there, and a couple of other pieces were in place when Mahomes finally.
People sleep on Alex Smith though.
Yeah, and we don't. We talk about
Alex Smith.
We don't know why, but you should.
That's why, like, not to go off top, but that's why I don't like the way people talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. Because if you look at Jimmy, if somebody really give him a chance, he can do the same thing.
Oh, we're high over here on Jimmy G, bro.
Right, we on team Jimmy G right
now. You could call him a dink and dunker all you want, but most quarterbacks dink and dunk.
Yeah.
Most of the game is dinking and dunking. 5 yards, 10 yards of dinking and dunking. And running back on the flat or curl. Like there's dinking and dunking all over the place. So you could say he's that. He puts the ball down the field. But even when he's getting short yardage, he does it so efficiently. Right? Like if the game wasn't blown off the lid, right? And they put Jimmy in it, 14-3 or whatever the score was, I think Jimmy goes down there and puts some points on the ball and makes it a game. He finds a way to get it done, especially with all the weapons that's around him.
100%.
Like people, he's a game. He's not even a game. No, he can manage a game. Oh, it's the defense. No, you got to do something on offense. I hate that argument. Oh, it's the defense. No, like they do the same thing with the Giants. Oh, that defense won. Nah, Eli put points on the board.
Yep.
Fun fact. People don't know this. David Tyree scored a touchdown in that game.
But
the helmet catch game. Not a lot of people know that. I said it on my podcast and it was like, what? No, he didn't. I said, yes, he did. Eli threw him the ball. He caught a touchdown earlier in that game. And then he made the helmet catch. Because people were saying growing up, oh, he didn't have catches all year. That was his first catch all year. And it's like, nah, he caught a touchdown, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just the defense. Do you see in the second one the way Eli put that ball at to Mario Manahan?
Man, that's a beautiful. That's one of the greatest throws ever.
Yeah, that was.
He puts it anywhere else, and Mario does not catch that ball. People don't understand. Yes, a great defense win you championship, but your offense has to be capable of putting points on the ball. It's why Aaron Rodgers lost to the 49ers previous year. Because he couldn't put points on the board to where their special team, the 49ers special team was putting points on the board.
Yeah. And
by the way, sorry to rub it in your face, Jay. Sorry to rub it in your face. We Giants fan around this motherfucker.
That's right.
I already know where you're going with that.
Hey, hold on. Okay. I gotta. There go Eli.
Can't spell elite without Eli, bro.
There go Eli, and there go David Tyrese, the helmet catch. There you go.
Hey.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. No, I appreciate it though. No, but it is true though. That Mario Manningham throw, that catch over there is very similar to, if you go back and look at the Arizona Cardinals Pittsburgh Steelers game, the throw to Santonio Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
If that ball is anywhere else, it ain't happening. Larry Fitzgerald goes down and probably ends up winning the MVP because of that beautiful touchdown they ended up winning with. But I know what people love, that Santonio Holmes catch. I'm sorry, but the James Harrison play was the best play of that Super Bowl, hands down. It just was. That interception return was just, watching that was a beautiful thing. That 300+ pound man running all the way down the field and basically passing out from no oxygen was just a beautiful thing to me.
I don't care if he didn't score. I stand by that.
Fuck you. I stand by that. Back if he couldn't breathe.
Nah, he's
back. He wanted his teammates a chance.
Damn it. Hey, let that man have it. James Harrison scored, damn it.
This, I'm on the opposite side of this one. Like when I tell people all the time that Dez didn't catch it, like, yeah, he didn't know he didn't. This is the opposite. Green Bay? James Harrison, they scored that touchdown, bro.
You talking about Green Bay?
Yeah.
No, he didn't catch that.
Exactly.
So speaking of the Giants, of course, you guys' coach Brian Daboll did win Coach of the Year.
I'm happy about that.
I wasn't opposed to it. I thought it was great because you took a team from
no wide receivers.
Yeah,
you still found a way to make it work.
Yeah, and only, like, I'm not opposed to it. I also wouldn't have been mad if Doug Peterson would have won it, because you did take the Jaguars from irrelevance and Urban Meyer.
They struggled early though. That was the thing. They struggled early and then they started winning later on. I think if he came out and they were hot when they came out and they won a couple of games, then they went on like a losing streak like the Giants did, because we lost like 3 straight, I think, or 3 or 4 straight.
Yeah, it was 3.
And then we got back to winning to where we secured that spot. If it was something like that, then I could give it to you. But for Daboll to be his first year, to have the offense he thought he was going to have not even produce the way it is, all you really had was Danny Dimes and Saquon Barkley.
100%.
That's it.
And a healthy Saquon at that.
Right. And I was talking about trading him at the beginning of the year, and I think I'm about to be right back on that sentiment in this offseason.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, I'd say, hey, you got to get a wide value high.
Yeah, trade a wide values up.
We need a number 1 wide receiver. We can get
definitely
and snatch a Tony Pollard who could take 15 snaps a game running, and we split it with another guy. Like, people don't understand that. I love Saquon, love his ability to run, but his legs are just not it.
Yeah, and it's one thing when you have a generational running back, like a Derrick Henry. You don't trade Derrick Henry.
No, you don't trade Derrick Henry.
No, you keep a Derrick Henry. Saquon,
unless you're blowing the team up, then you trade.
True, because you want to give him that Matthew Stafford treatment, give him his respect. He stayed with you, but and I like Saquon. I do. I don't put Saquon like I do like a Derrick Henry as far as that generational, because if you ask me who I'm taking in my prime, Derrick Henry could have played in any era of football.
I'll say that
and been that guy.
I think if Saquon Barkley would have been healthier and played a lot more games, people will realize he's way better than Zeke.
Oh, I still think he's better than Zeke.
He's way better. Oh, he's better than Zeke.
People argue it wouldn't be an argument.
Listen, I will take this less than 100%.
Would not be a debate.
I'll take this less than 100% Saquon right now over Zeke. Period.
Zeke has impressive season numbers. Don't get me wrong. Like, his career's nice career,
but I don't. Looking at how Zeke runs now and how Saquon ran this year, I still would have been content. It would have been easy for me to take Saquon.
Hey, so hey, Jay, should we bring it up? The comparison that has been on the internet. Should we bring it up?
Yes,
I'm gonna bring it up because I
actually do want to hear what Troy got to say about this.
I actually do. So here we have what's going on right now. It's a hot topic. Everybody's comparing Ezekiel Elliott's first 7 seasons to Terrell Davis' first 7 seasons in the NFL. And they keep saying, well, if Terrell Davis is a Hall of Famer, Ezekiel Elliott should be a Hall of Famer. So I want to know what you think, because I know where I stand.
Let me do a little research real quick. Right? So they said that the 8 years, right? I don't care about the 8 years, right? I hate, the thing with sports debate, right? It's moments that that's the biggest thing to people is moments. No, I like to look at the whole career. Like what they do in their whole career. That's why I don't, Mr. GQ can tell, I don't like ranking active players. I just don't. I hate the argument now in today's sports world that we could rank active players and put them above guys that have done more in their career as a whole.
Like how we had the Justin Jefferson conversation.
Like how people are trying to say Justin Jefferson is better than Jerry Rice. The reason why we can have people have conversations like that is because Jerry Rice is undeniably the best, wide receiver to come. It's like when people talk about the LeBron and Jordan, right? There ain't nobody that people are debating with like that with Jerry Rice.
There isn't.
That debate comes with 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, I never thought about it like that. That's crazy. I've never thought of that.
Nobody debates Jerry Rice. It's always if T.O. is better than Moss. Is Larry Fitzgerald better than T.O.? Like those 3 names is the 3 names that come next. People don't realize that. There's not a wide receiver debate like a LeBron, Michael Jordan debate, or people talking about this guy that came along is the GOAT now, like Tom Brady. He can win. No, there's no debate about Jerry Rice. Like no debate at all. Like this guy solidified himself in a time where it's not so past centric like today. Right? It's not so past centric like today. And he still put up numbers and had a career that no other wide receiver came close to.
All I'm saying,
except for Larry Fitzgerald.
If you would have put Jerry Rice in this past centric league now,
Jerry Rice killing everybody, bro.
Jerry Rice, I'm telling you, Jerry Rice will have a 2,000+ yard season, easy, because he was putting up these off the wall ass numbers in an era where we cared more about the running backs and the fullbacks, for that matter, than we did really like airing it out like that. Like you aired it out when you had a guy like that. If you didn't have a guy like that, you ran the ball. Mm-hmm. Like that's what you did. Like, the Broncos, of course, yes, they had Terrell Davis. They didn't have Shannon Sharp the whole time. Not the Shannon Sharp that we know about. Shannon Sharp built himself into that wing back that became a tight end, that became a downfield threat.
Right.
So he had to build his game like that, but he also laid the foundation for the tight ends as we see them now. A guy like Travis Kelce looks at film of a guy like Shannon Sharp because of what he was able to do in a non-pass happy era of football.
Yeah.
And he is taking full advantage. And I completely give kudos to all these receivers and whatnot in this era because it's pass happy. You should take advantage of it. That's what you should do. But I also give credit to running backs who are able to still be relevant in a pass happy, league that we're in now. Like a guy like Nick Chubb would have been a monster in the 90s and the early 2000s. He's Mr. Consistent. He doesn't get talked about, but he's Mr. Consistent with his numbers. He does what he does. Same with Derrick Henry. He's a guy that you know what you're going to get. And that's, but they're doing that in spite of the fact that we're in a pass happy league now, as opposed to a run centric like we were back in the 80s going into about, we'll say 99, give or take, when we really started, because the Greatest Show on Turf was a good combination of all the above.
So back to the Terrell Davis versus Zeke, right? That's what the competition was.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the numbers, Zeke has 8,262 yards with 68 touchdowns. Davis has 7,607 yards with 60 touchdowns. The biggest difference, right, when people be like, oh, if you're looking at the numbers, then Zeke should be a Hall of Famer. Zeke is a 3-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro. I don't care about your Pro Bowls. Right? It's the same for basketball.
I don't give a damn about your Pro Bowls.
Same thing with basketball. I don't really care about your All-Stars. Right? I don't care about your All-Star games. Right? I care about your All-NBA teams and your All-Pro teams. That's what I care about. Right? He has 1 All-Pro team. Right? He was the Rookie of the Year for SNL, PFW, offense. Okay. But when you go to somebody like TD and you look at a 3-time All-Pro, 2-time Super Bowl champion, an MVP, a Super Bowl MVP. People are, oh, but those are accolades. Those are accolades. No, that's his career.
That's 2,000 yards in one season.
Right. Right. This is his career. And then he's only played 7 years.
And he was in his last 3, he barely played.
Right. So 5 years of his prime. In 5 years, he's a 3-time All-Pro, an MVP, and a Super Bowl MVP with 2 Super Bowl champions in the 2,000 yards. I don't think you could put Zeke in that category yet.
No, and not to mention TD was the best player on his team during a Super Bowl run. Like, if you look at when they did the 30 for 30 about that Broncos team, Elway talks about it. Shannon Sharp talks. They're like, dude, without TD, we don't get this Super Bowl. They don't talk about Zeke like that. They've never talked about Zeke like that.
After his 2,000-yard season, dude dropped off to 4 games. He went from 16 to 4 games, then 5 games, then 8 games. Like, but in the 4-year stretch, it wasn't even 5 years. It was 4. In the 4-year stretch, 4 years, he's 3-time All-Pro, 2-time Super Bowl champion, and the Super Bowl MVP in the Super Bowl. That's crazy. Like, no, I'm not. Zeke is not in that category yet. People see, and that's what I hate about fans. It's like they only use what gives them the edge.
Yep.
That's the only thing. They see that his stats is better than Terrell Davis, so now they think, oh, he can stand with Terrell Davis because he has better stats. And no, you got to add the things that what he has done in those seasons. What did they lead to? Yes, they lead to accolades, but if you're not the best in something or the best at doing it that year, you're not going to get any of these accolades. He was the best at doing something 3 times. He was All-Pro, so that means he's one of the best running backs in the league 3 times. Right? He was an MVP, which means he was the best player. And his peers, and the people around football, he was the best player in the league once, and then he won a Super Bowl MVP, which would mean he was the best player in that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right? You give me that same for Ezekiel Elliott.
No.
Give me the same for Zeke.
The thing with I always call it the casual fan versus the football historian or the sports historian in general. Not all numbers look alike.
Right.
No.
Because here's something that's crazy is like, okay, we know that Andrew Luck had a shortened career, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if Patrick Mahomes was to retire after Sunday's Super Bowl, he's still a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, without a doubt.
Because of we talked about it. What he's done in a short time period is, first of all, he's been to the AFC Championship 5 times. He's been to the Super Bowl 3 times. He's working on trying to win a second one. He's won 1. He's trying to win a second one. And he's also been an NFL MVP twice now.
And he's been the passing leader twice.
So he could literally stop playing after Sunday, and he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh, for shit, sure. Yeah.
If Zeke retires today, he's not going to the Hall of Fame. Period. It's not happening. He won't even get consideration in my book. He wouldn't get consideration. He's done nothing to warrant consideration. When I look at other running backs who have played before him, like I don't even know what word how to describe Zeke. Like Zeke would probably be like the 15th running back I might choose to start my franchise with. Like I can probably still think of other running backs I would use before him.
Zeke's best season was his rookie year. After that, the closest.
That's what I was going to go to.
But
it was his third year, and after that.
But see, here's the thing about how we talk about not on numbers, look alike, right? His rookie year, his entire offensive line was an All-Pro offensive line.
Offensive line, right?
The entire
Terrell Davis's first 4 years went over 1,500 yards 3 times.
Go look at where the Broncos offensive line ranked during those seasons compared to the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys had a top 3 offensive line the first 4 years. The Broncos, that was not the case.
In Zeke's first 3 years, he's rushed over 1,500 yards once, and that was his rookie year.
Exactly.
He's only ever rushed over 1,500 yards.
Zeke has declined
every rookie year.
Rookie season. He's declined every year.
Yeah, his yards per game went down after his rookie
year. He don't get as many touches no more. Because what do you think they see from this guy in practice that they're not giving him touches? Why is Tony Pollard getting more touches? Like, you understand, Mel says it. Tony Pollard is not a heavy, running back. You can use him 15, 20 runs, but you're not going to run this guy 20, 30 times.
No,
I don't know.
We don't know, but he's not as big as your prototypical running back that would run like 25.
But he's elusive.
He is very much
get down the field. He has big plays, and that's what I'm saying.
And he's also he's a former receiver. We forget about that.
If Dallas can find the mixture, make the right potion, right, to mix Zeke and him together, they'll have an unstoppable 2-headed monster like the Browns did with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. But they just don't utilize. I would give some people that they don't utilize Zeke the way he is, but Zeke also is not running this thing the way he did.
No, he's not running.
Zeke isn't running
his rookie year, when he hit you, he fell forward. Now he's getting hit and he's getting stood up and put down.
Yeah, he used to run people. He ain't running.
No, he's getting stopped in the backfield, and we've never really seen him get stopped in the backfield. He used to run cats over and still at least get you, 3-4 yards off of that. That's not the case anymore. And then so moving on down that list. Of course, we had the comeback player of the year being Geno Smith.
We respect it 100%.
Yeah, I was happy for Geno Smith because Geno's had a very interesting career, and it was nice to see him have a renaissance of a career. This particular season,
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the perfect quarterback for Pete Carroll and the Seahawks.
Yeah,
because
for now.
He fits what they want to do right now, which is get ready to build. Girl, you're making a lot of noise.
All right, Calissa, you got to calm down now, man. Come on, relax.
Let me get this keyboard up real quick.
Man, that's why I had to turn the keyboard off because she's been typing in the chat or something.
Do my gamma juice.
Yep.
You can't hear me, but I can write it out for you.
Like I only want you to do that. But yeah, so I was cool with that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't have been mad if either Saquon or CMC would have got it either. I understood it because both of them came back from freak injuries, significant injuries. But Geno took a team that didn't make the playoffs, and then they made the playoffs the following season. Granted,
but I don't even think it's that. I just think it's strictly what he went through these last couple of years, and then having this type of performance where he was outperforming early in the season elite quarterbacks.
Yeah, he outperformed the former from Seattle. He like Russell Wilson looked like
I don't know. Russ gonna be ride next year with
I was just not. We just but last season my man was looking like he's doing his best Zach Wilson impression.
He was doing his best Johnny Manziel.
I couldn't even call him Russ. I was just gonna call him Zach because man, it was bad.
He was doing his best Tim Tebow.
Oh, hey, at least Tim Tebow was scoring.
I'll say this, man.
Do the who?
And Jay knows. I have always been a big Geno Smith fan. I didn't care. I love Geno. Geno has been disrespected for too many years just because he's not an elite quarterback. He's not a top 10, this and that. But, man, all these people out here where they're like, he's a game manager. He's a game manager. Well, Geno's more than a game manager. He will throw you to some wins.
Mm-hmm.
And that is fact.
Geno's just swinging now.
But see, this is what I always say. No matter what sport we're talking about, it's all about system and opportunity.
Yep.
That's all it's about. It's about do you fit in my system or the system, and how much opportunity are you getting? That's with any sport. Like you can have a guy that will go out there and win you a game on your bench, but you just don't know because you're not giving him the opportunity. And you see it a lot when a guy switches a team. Like look at Tony. We traded him off of the wide receiver.
Kadarius Toney. Yeah,
Kadarius Toney. He went to the Chiefs and instantly started making an impact. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he wasn't doing that on the Giants. It's system, and if you're getting the time or the respectable chance to show you something, a lot of people don't get that. A lot of people the opportunity and the system has to be right, and you have to be able to get opportunity. That's why you can hear switching subjects. A guy like Peyton Pritchard off the Boston bench talk about when this is over, I want more opportunity. Like. That's what people are looking for.
Hey, and he was discussed in the trades during the NBA trade deadline.
Yes, it was.
Teams were actually interested in Peyton Pritchard because
he's a good player.
He is, and he showed
what's his ceiling? We don't know.
Yeah, but he showed a lot of his worth at least to Boston when they put him in the game, and then all of a sudden he's making these plays. You're like, who is this guy? Who is this?
I love his defense. I was supposed to, and this is the curse about being like the lead guy. Is like. I gotta worry about so much shit. Like sometimes I forget. I watched the Boston played the Hornets a couple of weeks ago, maybe early last month, back to back. They played one in Boston, I think, and one in Charlotte. And Peyton Pritchard's defense was fire, bro. And I have timestamps on my breakdown to go and clip it at. But I just never got around to clipping it. So now I think I'm gonna write it down right here, and I'm gonna make sure I go put that video together. So thank you, Mr. GQ.
Yeah, I got you. I'm here for it. So we go to our offensive player of the year was Justin Jefferson. I mean, you can debate that. You can be happy about it, be upset about it. However you feel about it. I mean, it's fine because
if you go look at his. Stats are not everything, but if you look at stats the right way, they can lead you to a guy's production, right? Yeah. We all know Justin Jefferson did get shut down in games this year.
Yes, we know that. We definitely know that. He also made a couple of spectacular plays, especially in that Bills game.
When he took the ball out off that guy's hands, when the guy should have just swatted the damn ball away. Yeah. But instead, he wanted to try to intercept it. You got to understand, when it's time to hold them and when it's time to fold them.
Yeah. And what I've learned from, and you've probably noticed this trend too, what I've noticed that they'll pretty much use offensive player of the year for is for the best non-quarterback, because they, even though they tried to put Justin Jefferson in the MVP conversation, first of all, he was not going to win that MVP. It was not going to happen. So they're like, all right, let's give him offensive player of the year because he's not going to win the MVP anyway. So but like I said, I'm not upset about it. I was upset that they was going to try to give it to Brock Purdy at one point because I was like, hold on, he got a small body of work. Like you can't give that small body of work over a full season of body of work. Like you can't justify the two, and then that was just not going to work. But they were going to try it though.
I think based on the numbers, because Justin Jefferson was on pace at one point to break Cooper Kupp's record last year. Obviously,
he was on a historic.
He was on a dumb pace, but
I mean, he's like the third wide receiver to record 18,000 yards and something else. I forget what it was, but
he's Justin Jefferson is one of those players where I'm just like, the talent is there and everything is there, and everybody still finds a but. Like,
exactly.
But. And it's just like, it's annoying. I don't know if it's a mentality or what it is. It might not be his mentality. It just might be who he is. He doesn't seem to have that, I'm going to go out and I'm going to kill whoever the best player on the field is on defense. He doesn't seem to have that. He seems like he's just a overly talented guy that so happens to play football, and he's one of the best. That's what he seems like to me.
Yeah.
See, we was talking about it on the pod yesterday, and Mel was like, oh, but, because I say, excuse me, he caught 128 passes. Oh, but he got targeted 184 times. He averaged yards target with, hold on. Reception yards per target was 10, right? So that means he's getting up the field. It's 10 yards. I mean, and then plus he can give you yards after the catch. But what I said to him is, we all got to stop acting like Kirk Cousins is an elite quarterback.
That's true.
We know what Kirk Cousins is. We know what the Vikings are going to do. They're going to fold them a lot of times. They ain't holding them. They're folding them. So when you have an average quarterback, when a guy goes down, the backup comes in, what is that backup told to do? Get the ball to that guy. When you throw it, you just throw it to him. And you give him a chance to catch. That's all you throw it to the best guy. That's what the Vikings do. They throw it to their best guy.
Yep.
Kirk Cousins is an average quarterback who throws it to his best guy. That's it.
Yeah, and me and DJ Mike be talking about it all year. We're like, look, the Vikings are the most fraudulent team in the NFL, and it showed in the playoffs real quick.
People like,
I don't think anybody in their right mind picked the Vikings to beat the Giants, bro. Everybody knew that. We was like, this is the end of the Vikings. We all knew it. We all knew it was going to happen. We all knew it.
Because we're rational football people, but
yeah.
Of course, except for Minnesota fans who probably were like, yeah, this is going to be our year. And it's like, nah, fam, it's really not.
No. Because they're similar to Cowboys fans. They're just not as loud.
I'll give you that. Because listen, even if somehow, some way they would have gotten past the Giants, they would have got their ass blown the fuck out in the second round.
Oh, yeah.
Like, blown out. And so I'm glad they lost.
They would have got the same ass whooping we got.
You didn't have to bring it up, man.
Listen, I'm a real fan. We got to ask kick.
Oh, no, man. We got to ask kick. It's all good.
Yeah, there's no way to shake it, DJ. There's no way to shake it.
But the Vikings defense is terrible, so they probably would have got it worse.
For sure.
At least the Giants defense was at least above average.
Yeah, they didn't have a really good offensive game.
The Vikings defense,
really
the Vikings secondary was ass. That's why they hired Brian Flores to hopefully fix that. Their secondary was straight ass, though.
Oh, that's where he at now? That's where he just got hired at? Oh, okay. Yep. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that just happened 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
What?
Yeah,
what? Whoa.
Come on now. Look, DJ Michael B will tell you I stay on top of these news articles, man. I'm always
reading. You do. It was ridiculous.
So Brian Flores was being linked to Arizona, and then all of a sudden Minnesota called because him and the head coach have a relationship. Mm-hmm. So he ended up over there in Minnesota, and now he's a defensive coordinator in Minnesota.
It was like, listen, Black Floyd, we understand what you went through with the Dolphins and what they did you and they told you to do. We understand it. But look, we're not going to hold that against you. We want you to come over here, focus on football, drop the lawsuit, but focus on football. Drop the lawsuit, just focus on football. You feel me? You getting opportunities. He gonna keep getting opportunities, bro.
Yeah, because I mean he ended the year on the Steelers staff, so I mean he was
Yeah.
it's not like he didn't have a job.
Brian Flores is a very good coach, bro, and
he really is. Like he just got used as a scapegoat in Miami.
Miami did him dirty.
Hey, GQ, take this 150,000, man. Just take a vacation or something.
Nah, fam.
Don't get us no more wings. Don't get us no more wings. No, I'm doing with Lovey. Wait, was it Lovey?
Yeah, Lovey Smith.
I'm doing what Lovey did. Going out on a two-game win streak. Fuck your first round pick. You gonna fire me anyway. You gonna fire me anyway. You ain't getting no first round pick.
Drop down to 2, ho. That's what happened.
I would have fucking been colluding with other teams. But let me just win this game, bro. Let me just win this game. I want the first round pick. They gonna fire me at the end of the year.
Alone, dog.
let me drop this pick down to about the 5th round pick. Let me listen.
You want listen. Let me beat y'all. Let me beat y'all. All right? Let me beat y'all. I need 5 wins. That's what I need. I need 5 wins and we good.
You know what? I am from Houston. Leave my head coach alone, dog.
Well, look, they better do right by D'Amico Ryans, damn it. That's all I'm saying.
They better do right by D'Amico.
I don't trust no organization. They give you a job for 5 years, you be there half a year and you gone. Fuck, they just be giving away money because you still got to pay that salary.
100%. Yep. Of course, defensive player of the year was Nick Bosa.
I don't think there's anybody you can make an argument for over Nick Bosa.
Well, on that show they were saying Fred. They said a couple of other guys on the show.
Fred Warner?
Yeah. But even Fred said, Nick Bosa was the best. You can't get it to a guy. You can't give it to a guy that said another guy's the best. That don't look right.
No, 100%. Of course, the New York Jets, them punk ass Jets. I hate the Jets.
Mr. Saucy.
Yeah, so you had Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson both win the Rookies of the Year, offensive and defensive, respectively. Sauce Gardner basically replicated what he did his last year in college. Did not give up a touchdown very much. Didn't give up a lot of catches in general. Sauce proved he really got the sauce.
Sauce got the drip, bro. He got the grip.
I
don't know. That's
all I'm gonna ask is for how long, because we can say the same about Josh Norman.
Yeah, and we know
Jalen Ramsey is done fell off.
Yeah, now Josh Norman is most notably being known for Derrick Henry throwing his ass out of bounds.
Hey, Jalen Ramsey didn't Jalen Ramsey get one of those mushes too from Derrick Henry?
Yeah, but that one.
I understand. He took him off his feet.
He pushed him from the outside shoulder and threw his ass like.
He went get out my way. He was like, I believe I can fly. Derrick Henry was like, you sure can.
Like my man's cleats came untied midair, like it was that bad.
He didn't change clothes midair. He on a flight. He ready for the flight home.
And then of course, I always like to talk about this award because I just think it's one of the best things that the NFL does. Dak Prescott winning the Walter Payton Man of the Year. I love the award. I love that the NFL does that. I like that we're able to highlight something that's not really related to football.
Yeah, off the court.
We get to get some off, because say what you want about Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, we can talk about them forever. But then you start looking at what these individuals do off the field, and you're like, hey, that's a really stack. And Dak Prescott is a stand-up guy, and we know this.
Prescott is really he's really an amazing person, bro. I mean,
he's just an average quarterback. He was just
an average quarterback.
I would have gave it to Baker Mayfield because he was so charitable this year. So charitable.
I mean, but so was Derek Carr.
Oh yeah, I mean, split it. The coexistence won't pay them, man. Derek Carr, throw Josh Allen in everybody is so charitable. Hey, all away so much, because Danny Downs wasn't in that conversation.
Well, somebody had said that they could have gave Derek Carr, they could have gave him a defensive player of the year for all the picks he threw.
Oh my god.
Because he was sure helping the defense out.
Bro, I don't know what happened to Derek. Derek sure looked a lot like David this year.
Yeah.
Mel goes crazy when I call him David.
Oh, he do.
When I say it, I'm fucking crazy.
Hey man, listen. I believe
when I say he plays like his brother, I'm crazy, DJ. I gotta tell Mel this. I'm about to text him right now, but Mel.
You ain't gonna like that in the season over and over again.
He really did, but like DJ Michael B will tell you, I'm a big component of call a spade a spade. If that's what the fuck you look like, that's what the fuck I'm finna call you.
You're fucking right.
Like, I'm not finna sugarcoat it. If you look like your brother, which we know your brother being known for being on his back more than on his feet, that's what I'm gonna call you.
No, I'm texting him right now.
Oh, he gonna
Yeah,
have
Text him right now, like, bro, you
a
not
lot
gonna.
like
I
David.
said
And
you not
I
gonna
tell
like
you what,
DJ, bro.
hey, and I tell you what, if
GQ
you want to
call.
rebuttal and he say this and that, you can go ahead and send him a link. Come on and tell me now because I want to see what I want to know what he saw to not be called David because there's
right.
no way.
So I want to talk about this because DJ Michael B brought it to my attention this morning, and I don't know how I missed this story. So you actually did beat me on this. You caught me with a sham real quick, but I'm
So,
thinking because I missed this story completely. But so Michael Irvin was taken off of NFL Network as far as off of the Super Bowl Super Bowl broadcast because of an incident that was not an incident in the hotel. So he had an interaction with a fan that they tried to call an altercation, but it actually wasn't. But it was perceived
sexual
by
assault on top of that.
yeah. So it was perceived by the at the hotel, like Hotel Renaissance, whatever the fuck the hotel's called, that it was a sexual misconduct and sexual assault situation to where now I don't know if you saw this, I read this. I found another couple articles after the fact. Michael Irving is actually suing them for hundreds of millions of dollars behind this because you start throwing them kind of allegations around on somebody like, hey man, now you're starting to fuck with my character.
That's a rich
Like,
black man. He ain't trying
yeah,
to his
like
reputation.
that man has worked entirely too hard to build the reputation that he has to be the man he is. For you to drop something like that on him, that's false. So shout out to that fan that came out and was like, "Hey, I saw this whole thing last night. Like their whole interaction was like 30 seconds long. Like it wasn't even that serious. Like he shook her hand, he kept a arm's length distance away, and I'm like, all right. Like I was just baffled by this article when you sent it to me this morning.
Oh, Mulich wrote back and he said, "Hey, Ether, your whole point." But they never eat their mind. I'm about to tell them that, but you don't eat their mind.
To the Michael Strahan thing, bro. I'm very happy that the fan came out and said what he said because you already know had the fan not came out, it would have just went downhill from there.
So what happened?
Oh man, Michael Strahan, this, that. But the fan came out and said, "Look, bro, they talked for 30 seconds. He shook the hand. They went about their way. That's all it was."
So what happened?
He with him and everything.
Clear it up for me.
So, all right, so I got the backstory for you. So I'm gonna pull it live article from TMZ Sports. So for those who sleep under a rock like Patrick Starr, let me put y'all on game real quick. So basically saying that so this fan Phil Watkins was hanging out with his friends, taking photos, and where Michael Irving was saying, and he said as they walked outside, they saw that Michael Irving was approached by a woman as he was trying to go to the elevator. So sources say that close to Irving said this woman is the woman who made the allegations against him. So what the fans saw was a positive, friendly conversation. They had a brief interaction. It was 30 to 40 seconds. He kept his distance. He stood about a meter away from her. And then they ended it with a handshake, and he literally turned around and went to the lift. The hotel, on the other hand, a hotel staff member saw it and saw the interaction and claimed that it was a sexual misconduct situation.
I mean, that's the world we live in now.
Yeah. And that's unfortunate because it's in the middle of Super Bowl week. So now Michael Irving, in the middle of his Super Bowl broadcast, is now having to be pulled off of live TV type of shit. Like that right there. I'm like, nah, fam, I'm finna get all my coins back because you done cost me a bunch of bread right now.
Hey, I'm suing for my whole contract.
I'm trying to tell you
exactly
because this is how much I was supposed to make. This is how much money I lost. I want this plus fees and interest.
I do this. Boo said I need to stop playing devil's advocate. It makes me look like a fool. But I'm going to look at the other side of it. How much do you put on the NFL for taking him off there without doing an investigation?
I put a lot because the NFL is notorious for trying to gather the facts. And usually they try, I'm going to say try because it ain't always the case. They usually try to get the facts before they make a decision, especially when you're dealing with a TV personality. That's a whole different thing. It's not an active player. This is a TV personality that works for your network.
I think they pulled him just to be cautious because it's kind of like it's too much. There's too much going on. Got my screen. There's too much going on right now for them to launch a full scale investigation. So they were like, "Look, it's better to be safe than sorry." I get it, but
that's like shooting out asking questions later. But you already killed the man. Now how you gonna ask him?
But on top of that, y'all are football historians. Y'all know Michael Irvin obviously wasn't the greatest stand-up citizen when he was playing for the Cowboys either. So they're just trying to cover their tracks just in case, and it's going to get them in trouble because he could sue for it all. He can.
He probably and he should.
What you're going to hear for the next couple of weeks was if that was a white guy, would they have done it? Unfortunately, that's what they're going to hear.
Who knows? Ben got to stick around the whole career. Who knows? I'm just. Playing,
I mean,
I'm just playing. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, he was innocent the whole time.
Ray Lewis didn't do anything either.
Yeah, stand up guy. Neither did Ray Rice and Ed.
No, Ray Lewis I don't think did anything though.
No, I said Ray Rice.
No, I said Ray Lewis the first. That's
yeah.
I don't think Ray Lewis. I think his boys did it. He didn't.
Fair enough.
So, I read it. I'm a criminal justice major. All right, I checked it out. You feel me? I went and looked at the police reports. That's what I did. All right. People don't do their research, man.
Yeah. So I had one other NFL topic I wanted to jump on before we kind of start to wind down a little bit. This has been rumbling, but now that it's finally in writing, I'm actually rather intrigued by it. So the Ravens are going to tag Lamar, but they could be tempted to trade him in the offseason if the right offer comes along.
Does Lamar have so when it play, because that means the team owns his rights, right?
Correct. If they use, you've got the exclusive franchise tag and then you've got your traditional. So the exclusive meaning that if he's traded, there's some picks involved. Whereas with the traditional, he can't be. It's just kind of like he's going to get paid. I think right now the tag for that is like 42 mil for a year for the quarterback's franchise tag. So I'm like, so you're gonna pay this man $42 million for one season, and you still got to pay him a long-term deal after the fact.
But they're not giving him a long-term deal.
They should, but I don't know if they're going.
Yeah, and I understand people are mad at him for turning down at 216 or 220, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere in there. I mean, if I saw Deshaun Watson's contract, I would be considering.
Yeah, I mean, if I saw Deshaun Watson just get all these massages and get away with it, and he got all this money with all those massages. Now I want some massages and money too.
Like you telling me, look,
if you don't want to give me the massages, then give me more money. That's
I'm
saying if I'm Lamar.
All I'm saying is my MVP should be at least worth $200 million.
This guy done got all those massages, you feel me? All those happy endings.
Hey, you know what's funny? You should ask Mr. GQ about my damn fantasy football names, dog.
Oh man, this man is one of the greatest with fantasy football names. Oh my God, everything is revolved around something Houston related, but it is.
Like this year was Houston Happy Indians and back for massages.
That's right, back for massages because he back. He in the back room getting a massage right now. He back for massages. When the Browns called, Deshaun Watson like, hey, I'm still gonna be getting my massages. You gotta hide it. You can't do what the Texans did to me and say, bro. Shit.
We got you those massages plus $260 million, bro. What's up?
Don't worry, we got all the girls you want to get a massage from. We make them sign all these papers, all these NDAs. They don't say nothing,
and it's guaranteed. Oh,
we give them LeBron treatment.
I'll be there tomorrow.
Here's an NDA for you. Here's one for you.
Hey, don't forget my original team name was Houston NDAs.
There you go, NDAs. Or rub the A's. That's what they're gonna call them. Rub the A's.
Yeah,
rub me out the A's. There you go. Because Deshaun, if you think he stopped getting massages, y'all stupid. That guy still getting massages.
Yeah. Hey, seriously though, with Lamar Jackson, part of the problem with Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson acts as his own representative, and he doesn't have
his mother. Yeah.
Agent. Yeah. So,
they're trying to stick him because of it, and I think he's not. He's just gonna go somewhere else. Because you're gonna see a new age with players. It's like, yo, I can represent myself. Like I can talk money myself. Like,
yeah,
you want to pay me. Like I'm not gonna take what you gonna pay me. Now I gotta pay this guy. I said, nah, pay me directly. Correct. Guys starting to get like more intellect. Like, nah, why would I go why would I have a middleman when I could just do it directly? And that's what Lamar is doing.
What I'm seeing, and I won't be surprised if this happens, is when the NFL goes back to the drawing board and does their next CBA. If I'm the players, I'm advocating for this one very particular thing. I can only be franchised one time my entire career.
No, per team. Per team.
I would say once in my career if I'm the players. I don't want to go to different teams.
Then you handicap the other teams though. Like
that sounds like a team problem. Should have paid me my money.
Then nobody's gonna really stay on teams for too long. Everybody gonna be bouncing around, man.
Well, you can
don't be the NBA, which is fine because the NBA everybody bounces around.
And teams only have one franchise tag to use anyway.
Right, a year though.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, if I'm the players, I'm saying that I, as the player, can only be franchise tagged once in my career.
No, I understand that. I'm saying once in my career per team. So if I spend 13 years on this team, they can only in that 13 years franchise tag me once. But if I get traded to another team and they want to hold on to me, they can franchise tag me once. Like, it's up to them to franchise tag me, but it's only once. And after that, you can't franchise. So if I'm here for another 5 years, you franchise tag me my second year because I got a 1 year deal left. Guess what? You're going to have to pay me for the next 3 years. So I'm with you, but I don't think it's just once because then I think you shrink what teams can do with players and their money.
Well, and I'm also more about what can about players taking care of themselves because
100%.
Teams at the end of the day are still going to try to get the best deal, the best bargain, whatever the case might be. So I'd like to avoid that if at all. Like and I hate that for certain players. Like. Kirk Cousins is a prime example. I'm not saying he should have got the bunch, but Kirk Cousins was franchise tagged twice, back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And then
they paid that man a whole bunch of money though.
Still ended up going to another team and getting a fully guaranteed deal.
Contract, right?
So why would I allow you to franchise tag me a second time?
But that's what I'm saying. If Washington could have only franchise tagged him once, right? Now, that second time they would have franchised him, they would have either had to let him go or pay him his money. That's what I'm saying. I'm with you. He shouldn't be franchised the same by the same team. But now, if he goes to the Vikings, signs a deal with the Vikings, and then his contract is up, and the Vikings want to franchise tag him, they shouldn't be hindered from trying to franchise tag him to see what their future withholds. If they want to go his route and pay him long-term money, or if they want to try to find somebody else to bring him in.
I mess with that. Yeah.
The more I'll be rational and think about that, and I can rock with that.
But I'm just trying to make it fair for everybody.
Well, the billionaires don't like to play fair.
Right, but now it's fair on both ends for them and the players. You got to give them something that's enticing. They're not going to give you a piece of the pie if you don't give them a reason to give you a piece of it.
Yeah. 100%. So, yeah, like I said, I saw that article earlier, and I was like, man, I got to bring that up because that was actually I kind of like that. Like I was like, Lamar being traded. Interesting.
I hope so.
Well, but he'll end up getting franchised if they can't agree to a long-term deal. But I truly wonder what the actual difference is in the numbers. Like, does he want Deshaun Watson's exact contract, or does he want something similar? Like, I'm curious to know just how close and or far off it actually is, because John Harbaugh,
I really believe it's over guaranteed money because Deshaun Watson's contract is fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
Which is a ridiculous number for fully guaranteed money.
It is. I mean, and the Ravens have this is the only thing I'll say. The Ravens do have right to push back simply because the last 2 seasons, the injuries that they've dealt with. And Lamar has missed multiple games, and it has, caused issues for the team. But on the flip side of that, they still have yet to surround Lamar with an actual offensive coordinator that is not a run game guy and actual competent receivers to actually be comparable. Like when Lamar won the Heisman in college, he didn't have a true number one. When he won the MVP in the NFL, his true number one was Marquise Hollywood Brown. Give this man an actual team with actual weapons outside of Mark Andrews, and let's see what, let's actually unlock, Lamar Jackson and see what Lamar really is.
You seen that he improved in his throwing. People say he can't throw. He came out there, started throwing laser dots, wobbly ones, but they were getting there.
But it's true. But I mean, look at a prime example is look at this Super Bowl. Look at what happened when you surrounded Jalen Hurts with the right talent.
Yeah, you got him AJ Brown, and that defense got bolstered. That offensive line is nice. That running game is nice. Because
right now, Lamar has to do the same thing that Josh Allen does. They have to carry their teams respectively, which means they live and die by the one position on the field, which is the quarterback. Like the Ravens defense isn't bad, but they had a lot of injuries, and they never really were the same after last year with all the injuries. They were just kind of we'll say middle of the pack. But then bringing in Roquan Smith was great because that's one of the most consistent tacklers in all of football.
Yeah.
Like my man don't miss very often. That ain't really his. That ain't his game.
No, that ain't his game at all.
I was surprised the Bears let him go, but whatever.
Bears suck.
The Bears have sucked since they went to the Super Bowl.
That's why Jay Cutler didn't.
And you know what? I actually like Jay Cutler when he was in Chicago just because of
That's
Brandon
why
Marshall.
he always looked uninterested like this.
Yeah,
they always captured this
like
man's
that was born with God-given talent, and he know he can do it. And because he can do, he's just gonna roll out of bed and go do it. And he has no will to do anything other than chill.
Like, I feel like while this man has been retired, that man has probably been smoking joints every day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That man probably just walk around hiding a bitch. So, yep. So that was good. I wanted to make sure we kind of got that. It's funny. Speaking of the Bears, I'm sure y'all been reading about all the Justin Fields stuff because I'm curious to see what the Bears gonna do with this high ass draft pick.
I hope they trade Justin Fields. We'll take him in Houston.
You think they would really trade Justin Fields?
Bro, that's some Bear shit.
Carolina better go out and fucking grab him.
That's some Bear shit though.
That is some Bear shit because I mean they did also pass up on the drafting Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes at one point.
That's what I'm saying. That just sounds like what the Bears would do.
Yeah, because you the Bears thought Mitch Trubisky was that guy.
Mitch Trubisky is that guy, man.
For who?
Jesus. He the guy for Jesus, man.
Nah, man, Mitch Trubisky was never that guy. Like I watched.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. You know, like sometimes when guys come out of college and you're like, yeah, he's gonna be this and that, blah blah blah. And you're like, yeah, and then they don't pan. I'd be like, damn, man. I really thought. No, there was never a bone in my body that thought Mitchell Trubisky was going to be a good quarterback in the NFL. Not even a little bit. I don't know what they saw in this dude.
I watched him play in college, and I was like, so you mean to tell me you think watching this small sample size, like 10 games of Mitch Trubisky, is better than Deshaun Watson winning a national championship, beating Alabama, or better than Patrick Mahomes having one of the best Big 12 games between him and Baker Mayfield and company at that point in time, when they combined for like 1,000 yards and some other crazy shit? And I'm like, no.
Not only that, here's the best one. My favorite example of this is Lamar Jackson is the perfect example of being a black quarterback and being stereotyped. Because I was sitting there on draft day talking about, what are y'all doing? Nobody's going to draft Lamar Jackson. Not a single person. Are y'all crazy? Come on, man.
They wanted that man to change positions.
Bruh.
They wanted him to play running back and I think they said safety or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I was like, this man won a Heisman Trophy playing quarterback. Why the fuck would he change positions?
Lamar Jackson, even in college, had all the tools. You saw him pick apart defenses in college, passing the ball. Then you saw him running the ball too. He had all the makings. But to be fair, a lot of Heisman Trophy winners these past 20 years. Well, I'm going to be 33 this year. So the past 30 years in my lifetime, a lot of Heisman winners don't pan out. But Lamar Jackson had the right tools you look for in a quarterback. He had good decision making. He didn't just run to run. You know what I'm saying? Like he had the components, and I'm just like, come on, dog. I think Lamar's gonna be great. And there you go. He's been great.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Give him the money, man.
Get him in his flowers. Get him in his money.
Somebody gonna give it to him.
Because Josh Allen got paid, and Josh Allen ain't got no MVPs. That's all I'm saying.
I think Pete Carroll goes after Lamar. Because same thing with Geno. Geno's a lesser version of like a Wilson. He runs and he can throw, right? Wilson could always put those wheels on when he needed to and throw the ball, right? Wherever you want to put him in his ability to do that, you put him. But he won a Super Bowl doing it, right? Just wasn't the Legion of Boom. It was the offense too. Marshawn Lynch and those guys as well. But what was I saying?
Lamar to Seattle.
Oh yeah, I think Lamar give him Pete Carroll, and I think Pete Carroll does some things with him. Because then he has DK Metcalf, and then he has Tyler Lockett. So now not only does he have a true number one wide receiver, he has a true number two wide receiver.
I think you called that. He was like, yo, Lamar will be good in Seattle. I think you called that before, Jeremy. So like,
I've been saying it for a little while. Nobody want nah. Okay.
I look at coaching styles and schemes, and I'm like, bro, he fits with Pete Carroll. He fits with Kyle Shanahan, but the Niners are not going to go after him because they got enough going on, what they got going on. But I was like, those two teams would be really good for Lamar. Mm-hmm. Like I really do. I like Pete Carroll. Like I like Pete Carroll as a coach. I like his system. His system is very simple. Like there's nothing complicated about his system. Mm-hmm. And Lamar would flourish in a system like that. Because now if I bring in Lamar, I can also start looking at, I can probably draw some more potential free agents to come in on, smaller contracts. Bolster a couple positions here and there.
OBJ over there,
because you also remember you have a rookie running back that you don't have to pay for the next couple years too. So, pieces are there.
I think both of y'all hit the nail on the head. I think Seattle is the perfect place for Lamar Jackson to end up if he's not with Baltimore next year. We all know Pete Carroll's a winner. He won in college and he won in the NFL.
He won in the NFL first, then in college, then he came back to the NFL.
Okay. So you're right. But just Pete Carroll is a winner. He understands football. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of coaches understand X's and O's. Pete Carroll just understands how to win in football. And that is a lost trade because it there's a lot of guys like, oh, this guy is very good in the offensive coordinator. Let's hire him as a head coach. No, he's good at the defensive coordinator. Let's hire him as a head coach. No, a head coach has to know how to win. Pete Carroll, anywhere Pete Carroll has won, he's been successful. Mm-hmm. And that is a rare trait. If you go back and forth between college and the NFL and you just win no matter where you go, you understand football. You get it. And that's Pete Carroll, and Lamar Jackson's one of those as a quarterback gets it. And I think there'll be a match made in heaven. It will be beautiful.
And not everybody can do that. Not all coaches can win in college and in the pros. Nick Saban is a failure in the NFL.
For example.
Like Nick Saban and Urban Meyer are failures at the NFL level. But both Harbaugh brothers are good at the NFL or college. Doesn't really matter. I think I ain't gonna lie to you. I would love to see what a coach like Andy Reid could do at college.
I would too. I think
with the right team, I would love to see what Andy Reid could do with a college team. Like I think he could do something nasty.
I think because Andy Reid is so innovative on offense.
Depends on what college team though.
Yeah, 100%.
But he's so innovative.
He can have so many. I'm with you because the schemes you can draw up in college is way more than what you can do in the NFL.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that.
But he would be like the perfect Pac-12 coach though.
Oh, for shit, sure.
Yeah.
I think Pac-12, ACC. I think those would be two places he would be Big Ten maybe, but definitely Pac-12 and ACC for sure.
Yeah, I can see that. He's a very good coach, and people don't give him enough credit.
They should. He's playing against his former team who he had a long coaching tenure with. Like it's not like Andy Reid is a very successful coach.
Right?
Like
I think Philadelphia understands now that you just once Andy Reid left, it was like you don't understand how good you have it until it's gone. They are the perfect example of that because after Andy Reid left, they were trash till Doug Peterson came along and revived them.
Like
when you talk about how good did you have until it's gone.
Yeah.
So
when you talk about like the NFL's most winningest coaches, like Andy Reid is right behind Coach Belichick. Like this is not uncommon. This what we're seeing is what we've been seeing from Andy Reid's entire career. And we forget, Andy Reid is from the Mike Holmgren coaching tree, which had a very successful coaching tree.
Yeah.
And Andy Reid is developing a fairly successful coaching tree as well. So it's like, if you know anything about Mike Holmgren from back in the day, like Mike Holmgren was a damn good coach.
Yeah.
For a long, long time. So it's not surprising that Andy Reid is having the success he's having, in 2023 now with all the innovations and everything else going on with offense.
Yeah,
Fact.
I agree.
So that wraps up at least everything I've got today. DJ Michael B, you got anything else you want to talk? I do
got something I want to talk about. I want to get you. Look, I know we primarily talk about a lot of football today, but he told me you were an NBA head guy too. So here's what I want to know, because I asked him this on the podcast, right? out of all the trades that happened at the trade deadline, because there was a lot, what do you think is the most underrated?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I got a screenshot of the trades. Let me get the photo real quick.
Yeah, hey, look, you had to screenshot them because there was so many of them.
There was a shitload of them.
Like trying to keep up with all them trades was like I showed him a picture of my phone. I was like, bro, this has been my phone all day.
And the messed up part was I forgot my phone at home that morning when I went to work.
All right.
I went to lunch and grabbed my phone at like 3:00 and my shit was blown up.
So I have 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna go from least to the most underrated.
Okay.
Jay Crowder to the Bucks.
That was one of mine.
Yep,
for
we
sure.
talked about that one. Yep.
I think that's overrated. I think it's like it's a sneaky move, but I think other people made just a little better moves. The second one I would say, which I don't think a lot of people understand, is Jakob Poeltl to the Raptors.
What I tell you?
Yup.
That was
somebody know basketball.
That was one for me. That was one for me.
I told you that was mine too. So
very interesting. But the one I think that stands in the number one position for me is GP back to the Warriors.
That's another one I said too.
Yeah, I think that's a key. That was key.
He already understands the system and everything. So
and then the funniest one to me is Wall to the Rockets. That's the funniest one.
Oh, that one was hilarious. He went back to the Rockets.
He just was on a podcast like, yeah, Rockets was the worst player to play. Hey, sorry, bro, I'm trading you back. He got on the phone with his agent. I ain't going if they ain't buying me out. They better buy me out. But they say he might return to the Wizards, so I don't know. Did we get a Bradley Beal, John Wall, Kyle Kuzma, the unicorn? Or just the corn? I don't know what we call him anymore. I don't know what we call him anymore.
We call him the pony now, bro.
Yeah, because he ain't even a unicorn no more at this point.
I don't know what to call him anymore. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the funniest one to me. John Wall back to Houston. But I think the sleeper would definitely be GP back to Golden State because now they have at least one of those defensive guys back that they could kind of use in those spaces where they were lacking at.
Okay, so I got one more. I just got one. Both of y'all. I don't think I didn't ask you this either. GQ.
What's up?
I read online today that whether or not Russell Westbrook stays with the Jazz is completely on Russell Westbrook. If you're Westbrook, do you stay? Do you leave? And if you leave, where do you go?
I hear different.
Yeah,
I hear Utah is going to buy him out, and the place that he's going to sign is the Clippers.
Yeah, I've heard the same with the Clippers.
That's what I thought too. And then I read on Sports Illustrated. I'm looking at the report right now. It was like Russell Westbrook holds the cards on whether he stays with the Jazz or not. And I was like, wow, okay. So maybe they did actually.
They got a lost season, so it's like you want to stay here and play with the young guys. We ain't gonna bother you. It's like, nah, I want to go win a championship. I say he goes to Clippers, and I think the Clippers team will definitely be a formidable team. I don't understand the move to move John Wall. I guess Tyronn, because Tyronn Lue is out there, right? Yeah, Tyronn Lue. I just guess he just felt like it wasn't. He needed to shake something up.
I think maybe internally John Wall asked to be like kind of moved or released just because he feels like he's still a starter and can go get it in his mind. Which I'm not against because when John Wall played for the Clippers off the bench, John Wall was freaking fantastic when he was healthy.
Yeah.
He had a couple of 2010 games as a sixth man. So John Wall can definitely still play. But I think he still ranks himself in his mind.
He's going through that.
He actually is.
He's going through that Carmelo syndrome. When you're that high, you can't picture yourself being here. And it's like, at a certain point in your career, like everybody cannot be LeBron and starting at 38. You gotta accept your role.
Russ is in the same boat. He's got to accept that, all right.
He accepted it, though. On the Lakers, he said, okay, I'll come off the bench. He accepted that role. And I thought that was going to be a big problem for him.
Except right before, I don't know if you saw the article, before he got traded, he had a falling out with Darvin Ham because they were trying to sub him out. And he was like, I'm not coming out. And they actually got into a whole, thing, on the floor.
But you know what though? I actually agree with Westbrook in that game when he didn't want to come out because Westbrook was hot. Why would you sub out your hot player? Because he's the only one out here balling.
Right. But I mean that could be inexperience as him as a new coach, or it could just be they knew they were going to trade him.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I heard a lot of stuff from Boston fans. Oh, Brown's not playing. They're going to trade Brown. Brown's got to be sitting out. Pritchard, they're going to trade him. Like,
first of all, you are not trading Jaylen Brown. Like, it's not.
Well, I think Boston has already made a decision on if they have to keep one or the other. They're keeping Jason Tatum. So,
hey, look, and that's fine, but that's going to be a mistake. But that's not.
We've been on the same wavelength with this forever, bro.
You and I have talked about this quite a bit. Like, bro, Jaylen Brown. Give me a choice, I'm taking Jaylen Brown.
You give me a choice, I'm keeping them both. They both work good together. They're great tangible together. I don't see why people want to break the two up. They got to a finals last year together. They won 2 games. They could win 2 more if you give them you just got to let them get some more experience. I don't want to let either of them go. I'm sorry. JB might be the best or the second best two guard or whatever you want to call him in the league right now. But Jason Tatum is a superstar. So there's no way with those two having that status that you can let JT go over JB. You would have to let JB go.
I think Boston is on I won't say on a surge, but I think they are one all-star big man away from running the league. And it's unfortunate Al Horford isn't a young player like he was with Atlanta. If Al Horford was when
we had young Horford.
Yeah.
He would have did double to Giannis what he did to him in the playoffs.
Well, the other problem you run into is that Williams wasn't healthy. They're young big.
No, that's another thing I would say.
Because I like that kid. Like, I like that kid a lot.
Right. I would say that
wasn't healthy.
If you look at when he's healthy and he plays, we are one of the best defenses in the league. So we have our big man. It's just he can't stay healthy. He's a great rim protector. He changes a lot of shots down low. You know, he can't really guard the perimeter, but what a big man do you expect to really, really guard the perimeter? It's not
if you look at the scope of what a center's supposed to do, guard the perimeter is not one of them.
Yeah, so and he can definitely chase down but from the back blocks, he can get back on play. So he's a good center. He just needs to get healthy. And if he does not get healthy, then we need to go find somebody. I like the Mike Muscala because he's a 3-point shooter. And in the playoff, if you get him minutes, he's definitely going to space that floor and be a threat from 3. And he's very efficient too. So
yeah. But when I seen Toronto pulling that Pirtle trade, I was like, I see what they did there.
Yeah.
That was a glaring weakness that Toronto had was center. And they're like, let's just go get us a true center. Let's go get a true center.
Move Siakam to the 4.
Yeah. Like, because Siakam is very similar to Bam Adebayo in Miami. Like, they had him playing 5, but they're truly 4s.
Right. Because that's what the league is today.
Yeah.
You have an athletic, small ball.
An athletic 4 who plays 5 because you have a smaller lineup because you want more athletes on the floor.
You want to be able to space the floor and not your big man get caught out in space.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like that's a part of basketball. Like people would think Rudy Gobert is a bad defender on the perimeter, but it's just he's not. He's not a bad defender on the perimeter. It's just that's not his strong suit.
No,
he's a rim protector.
His job is 2 feet away from the basket, not 34 feet.
But I think in time, people are going to see the game is going to reverse itself and it's going to go right back to
Oh, hell yeah.
Big men need to do what big men do because people are going to see we can't follow this formula of young power forwards being centers. Like Jokic and Embiid are fucking centers.
They are 100%.
You need a center to fucking combat that. Wilmington, Victor Wilmington, whatever, that's what I call him.
Oh, Wembanya?
Don't correct me. Victor Wilmington, when he gets in the league, that nigga should be a center. That's what they should do, but he's probably going to be a power forward. He's probably going to play the 4. Who knows? Yeah. And they're going to have 2 7-footers on the floor, and then in the playoffs, it's not going to work.
No, they're going to get outran.
Like, unless he's fucking skipping up the court like Giannis.
Now, Giannis is a 1-of-1. Like, Giannis
and Shaq in Orlando, bro.
Oh, man.
That's the closest comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
I don't know. Dominant wise, I would say if Giannis goes on to dominates the league over the next 10 years, right? He's still young. What is he, like 24, 25, right? Somewhere around that?
Giannis is 26, I believe.
26, all right. So another 10 years.
He's still definitely young.
Right, I don't know how the league works. So another 10 years, if he dominates the league, you might could put him in the domination category of like a Shaq and Wilt, people like that, because he's one of the most unstoppable players in the league right now.
Oh, my apologies. Giannis is 28.
Oh, 28. Wow. Okay, yeah. So 38. Yeah, he'll be like LeBron's age. So another like 8 years, six.
Giannis got another eight years.
Good years. We're talking about good years when he's going to be able to do what he still does. I don't know where his drop off is going to come. You know, we done seen, Kobe's drop off. We could say MJ had a drop off, which he really did.
With the Wizards.
Right. You could say that was a drop off because he wasn't scoring the way he was scoring.
LeBron is the only player where we're just like, this nigga still hasn't had a drop off offensively. It's ridiculous.
Oh, sorry about that.
LeBron hasn't had an offensive drop off. Has he had a drop off as a player? Yes. And real basketball people know that.
100%. He's not as fast. He's not as quick.
He's not as good.
He was the same. He's not as good. Like, he can't put the energy on in defense the way he is. But people don't want to talk about that. It's like LeBron fans go crazy, bro. Like, I posted on Facebook in one of these forums the other day just to fuck with him. I said, damn, Michael Jordan never said he was the greatest of all time, and neither did Tom Brady. Oh, they lost their minds, bro. Lost this one dude just kept commenting. I'm like, yo, bro, like, why are you so mad? Like, you commonly responded to everybody's shit. Like, why are you mad? Like, calm down.
They get mad when you give them a fact they can't refute.
Then I told him, just show me. Just show me what MJ is saying. Everybody keeps bringing up the OJ Mario thing. No, he did not say I'm the greatest player of all time. That's not what he said. He told OJ Mario, you are the greatest. He said, you are the best high school player, but I'm the best in the world. That's what he said. And when did he say that? Was I think in 98? I think it was in 98 he said that. In 98, he did not say, I am the GOAT. I am the greatest player of all time. Nobody started saying that shit, and that shit didn't come about until LeBron started doing it. It's why I didn't like LeBron in the beginning of his career. I hated LeBron. It wasn't because he was shitting on Boston, because we was fucking LeBron up. Like, I hated him because of his arrogance and how much he was trying to make people at that early of age without doing anything, trying to compare himself to Mike.
Stephen A. Smith probably has the best what you would call a soliloquy on, and he was like, why are we celebrating him for what? What has he done? He hasn't won nothing. And he was like, and he walking around like he already won. He walking around like he's this and he's that, and he didn't win nothing. So why? And it's a fact, and it's true.
It is true, but you have to look at the other side of it too.
The expectation.
He was anointed the chosen one. He didn't say that he was that. Like that was you look.
Yeah, but it's a difference.
Like he was already anointed like the next great.
Well, how many times do we see
he also dubbed himself King James?
Right, but how many times do we see? Right, how many times do we see a guy come in and the media dubs them something? The next one to come, like Grant Hill, he was supposed to be the next coming to Michael. This guy's supposed to be the next coming to Michael. This guy's the next coming.
Yeah,
to
but
like that shit happens all the time.
You can't lie. Grant was a beast.
Oh no, Grant was a beast. If he didn't get injured, I don't think there would be many. He would be up there in like the greatest of all time discussion of Grant stay healthy.
The biggest difference with the LeBron thing is you have to remember they were also broadcasting his high school games on ESPN. Like it was like so the pressure was already being
came in the league as superstar.
They were putting the pressure on him before he had even started,
and he lived up to it.
He did.
He 100% did.
Not only did he live up to it, he passed it.
Some people say he overachieved his expectations. That's great, but we could say that, and at the same time, we can also say he kind of failed at being a winner.
Oh
yeah, I'm definitely with that.
4 and 6.
Failed at being a winner. Yeah, he failed at being a winner. And I know people don't like equating winning to championships, but you have to. It's the only reason why we play the game. It's the only reason why we play the game. We play for a ring. We play for a championship. A player just said it.
We play to win the game.
Right. The player just said it. Like, if you don't think we play to win championships, then you don't fucking know basketball. And I forget which basketball player just say that, but they play to win a championship because they know winning a championship puts them in the upper echelon to basketball players. Especially if you are an all-star, star, or superstar.
You see all the disrespect Charles Barkley get all the time.
Yeah, but Charles Barkley had one ring. Just one ring. Just one. He'd be in a different category. 100%. Different category. He goes up 2 levels in where he's placed and how people look at it.
Because people just feel like, bro, Charles was a damn good player.
Yes, he was. He was a dog.
Charles was 6'6" power forward in the big man era, dominating centers, bro.
And gave Shaq problems.
Yeah.
Hell, call Shaq to get into a fight with
I
him.
told him y'all don't know Prince Charles, bro.
He deserves props for fighting Shaq because
he did take Shaq down. I'm just saying we all saw the video.
Hey, let me tell you something. Real quick. Charles didn't take me down. I took Charles up.
Hey, the impression is on point.
Oh, that shit was dope. Yeah,
but nah, like Charles was a beast, man. People don't know who Sir Charles is, bro.
It's like we talked about when I was on the first episode with you guys. Like people nowadays are so stuck in recency bias that we forget that the greats have been around. Now
we don't. This old head, the old head this, old head that, because nobody wants to understand. Like, yeah, I get it with the guys that stubborn and they just like, no, I'm in the 90s. I'm in the 90s, and it's 2023. Nah, you gotta come out that lens and just view the game for what it is. If you don't like it, you don't like it, but you can still give props to the people that's doing it. Like, people always think like, I love how our TikTok is set up, because right now it's two of us that really use the account. It's me and Mel. So a lot of people think they're talking to Mel when they're talking to me. So I got called the old head. And I was like, damn, bro, I didn't know 31 was old. He's like, oh, no, my B, bro, my B. I didn't know that's how old you were. I'm like, see, the problem is you think you're talking to the guy that's in the video, but you're not. Like, we're not old heads, bro. We just look at it we understand. We've been through years of basketball, decades of basketball, bro. You haven't been through that yet. A lot of you guys started watching ball when I was 15 and you're 21.
Yeah.
You didn't even make a decade yet.
Yeah, I'm like,
a lot of you guys didn't even watch LeBron when he came in the league.
Jordan was in the league, and
he drafted 05, 04.
Yeah,
who was LeBron drafted 04, right? 03. Like, a lot of you guys wasn't watching basketball in 03.
Like, we from the VHS era,
right?
My mom used to have the All-Star games on VHS. She had the NBA Finals. Like, I remember watching it on that box ass TV, same ass song. The same theme song.
NBA Finals on NBC, dog.
Right.
That's the era I come from.
NBC. Like, half of these dudes don't even know what damn N1 is.
No.
What are you talking about, N1? We're talking about when you go for a foul and they foul him and he makes it. That's N1. N1? No, that's not what we're talking about, bro.
Oh, you talking about them cheap ass shoes? Nah, fam. We're talking about
N1s. Listen, I was listening to because I like The Professor. So I was watching The Professor on YouTube, and he was breaking down a documentary, and he was saying the shoes wasn't bad. He was saying that. He said they weren't bad shoes. They were made very well. He said that what fuck the shoes is Gilbert. It was Gilbert Arenas that got injured, right?
Yeah.
Gilbert Arenas got injured with the shoes on. So they equated it to the shoes. He said that's what killed the shoes for them. It was somebody got injured with the shoes on. If Gilbert Arenas did not get injured with the shoes on, they don't have that problem with the shoes. But they were good shoes. They all hooped in them.
I hooped in them. I had them.
I hooped them. I mean, also hooped I hooped in Shaqs too, but
I hooped in boots. I hooped in church shoes. That's how much of a baller I was. Yeah, you couldn't touch me.
You leave church on Sunday and they're like, we're gonna go hoop. Me and these church shoes gonna go put the work in.
My dad's church had a barbecue a couple, maybe 7 years, 7, 8, 9, maybe almost 10 years ago. They had a barbecue. I went and I was torching the preacher, bro. I don't care. I don't discriminate.
Hey, look, the sermon is over.
Right, he got the sermon.
You're gonna get blessed in the name of basketball out here.
My dad was like, you didn't dunk on him, though. I said, you see that 3 I hit, though? You feel me? Like, you can't guard me out here, man.
Hey, look, I'm gonna bless you with these buckets.
All types of buckets, man.
Yeah, now we talk about that all the time. Like, we still be getting out there trying to hoop. I think it's because you got a 3-on-3 event coming up.
Not me.
I'm trying to make sure I can make an appearance for that. I'm trying to come out of
I got a bad back now, so
I'm trying to get the band back together.
Yeah, I got a bad back now, so basketball's over for me.
Oh man, I feel that.
I'll come out of retirement for one day.
I come out of retirement for one day. I'll be in retirement for the rest of my life. That's it for me. One jump shot and I land, my back gonna go. That's gonna be it. I got edge syndrome right now. I can't do no activities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
I want to pick up a ball game. You guys don't understand. I miss it. I miss it so much, kicking people ass, bro.
Me and Jay used to hoop every Saturday at this place called Eagle Point.
Oh yeah, man.
It'd be 5-on-5, 4-21, dude.
I'll do it. Now it's in black and white. It's in black and white, but you feel me? This This is what I do. All right, I got it framed. That's my best friend. We both. You can't really see it. You can see it a little bit. Where you see we both got those Nike shoes on, man.
Yeah.
Do an advertisement picture out here, but nah, this is what I did, bro. Look at the stance on me though. That's a basketball stance, man.
Basketball stance.
That man said he said he was ready.
I was ready, and I was a shooter, so you didn't know what I was going to do. And I'll tell you one thing. They used to always tell me, man, when I went up for a layup, because I didn't really like dunking. I was a flashy layup guy. But it was like, yo, you jump so high, I don't know if you're going to dunk on me or not. I got to get out the way.
Hey, Micah, that sound familiar?
I'll tell you one funny story.
It's not like you.
I don't want to hold you guys up too much longer, but I'll tell you one funny story. I was playing full court 5-on-5 in the park down here. And my brother and this other guy on the other team, some randoms, they were just chirping at each other, just chirping. And like I come from a hood, so at any moment a fight could break out. So I'm getting pissed off that they chirping, and I'm wide open at 3-point line. So I'm like, oh, I'm about to yam this shit, tell them all to shut the fuck up. Like I get the ball, 2 bounces high, 2 Charlie horses in my leg midair. Fall to the ground like I go to dunk and catch 2 Charlie horses, and each leg I catch a Charlie horse simultaneously while I'm about to dunk the ball, bro. I had to let it go midair. I never tried to dunk after that. I was like, God told me not to. That was my son.
Oh, I think I would have had to just retire in that moment.
Yeah,
bro.
God told me not to.
Mid-air.
Right, and one in both legs. Yep.
Oh no, you can't even land. I gotta just tuck it.
Yeah, I went straight to the ground. It wasn't no landing on those legs, bro.
Hey, you know one of them when you wake up in the morning, you stretch, you get a Charlie horse and you roll on the floor and grab one leg. That man couldn't grab a leg. He was just stuck.
I was stuck, bro, and I was so mad because it was like I was about to yam that shit. I was about to fucking 2-hand do the Shaq and bring the run down. Like I was so pissed, bro. And God was like, "Nah, this is not the time, my son. Yeah, take care of your legs, my son."
God and Father Time said, "Nope,
nope."
Sit down.
I was young too. I was like 20. What was I? 24, 25, something like that.
You're still young.
Yeah, but I beat my body up so much.
Right there, boy.
I beat my body up so much as a kid, like never going to the doctor and getting checked out and stuff like that. That shit affects you. People don't understand that. That's why it's like my knees are bad, my back is bad. I got a herniated disc that's pinching my sciatic nerve, and I got a bulging disc. Yeah, I got arthritis in my back. Like,
yeah, I got that too, but I got it in my hand.
Nah, arthritis in your back is different, bro. I don't know how people's. Like, I got it in my hand. I had it since I was a teenager in my hand, but having it in my back, yo, it like hinders you from doing so much. It's like if you gotta. I don't take pain medication, so I smoke. That's what I do. So it's like a lot of blunts and a lot of motherfucking icy hot patches. You know, warm hot showers, loosen up the muscles around it.
Boy, them lidocaine patches, boys.
Yeah, lidocaine. Woo! People don't know about that lidocaine. My grandmother put me on the lidocaine.
Put that Salon Pass on one time.
Oh,
boy.
What I do too is people don't understand is if you can't take it, because a lot of times like you can just loosen it up by taking a shower. But if you can't take one like me, I can't always take a shower in the morning. So I take my shower at night too before I go to work. But what I do in the morning is I run the water and I'll go and sit in the steam for a little bit. Because even that hot air would loosen your muscles up a little bit.
Yep.
So, but yeah, man. Hopefully one day, man. Hopefully one day, you know, Troy could touch the ball again. I shoot from the top of my head, so everybody always told me I shot like Kobe. I don't know why, but I was a Paul Pierce guy around that time.
Okay.
So,
but I have a game similar to Paul Pierce, especially from that free throw. You know, it's automatic from free throw.
But I was an off balance shooter. Like I was always doing fadeaways, falling shots. All of that.
I hate guarding people like that, bro. It's impossible to block the damn shot.
Yeah, that's me. But see, the thing about me was I used to have this jump shot in high school where I shot from here, like from my head. And
you was a forehand shooter.
Yeah, you can easily block that shit. So I'm in the gym in high school. I'm like, I can't keep shooting like this. Like, and it's a good shot, but I'm like, I'm gonna get it blocked. And I was like, if I'm really gonna get out here and compete with these guys, I need a shot that they can't block. So I took the ball back here. I took it behind my head, and then it's just bro, hated it. And I can switch it. I can go from top to all the way back, and people hate it when I went all the way back because it's like, yo, how do I block it? I'm like,
that's that dirt. That's that dirt.
My teammate Chris McClure in middle school shot like that, bro. He was notorious. That was his shit. I was like, this man just, how do you shoot from behind your head? It's like a catapult.
Right, and it gets the velocity, it gets too woof. And
Yeah.
like it just the spin on it, be like, oh, and it be like, yo, why you doing this to me? Like, nah, it's like that, bro. It's like that.
Yeah. Nah, so Troy, we appreciate you coming on to the lounge today. It's been phenomenal to have you. I'm glad that you got to come to this side of it. You know what I'm saying? I've been guest starring over there with y'all. It's glad to see. So the
And
people
you be
can
back
see
Friday.
you. Yeah, I'll be back Friday. Yeah.
And hey, DJ on Monday, 2 days.
Yeah.
I'm in there.
Right, so, yeah, I was like, you got to keep up with this man in his work schedule because he in that warehouse life. So you know how
gotta make the money, man. Gotta make the money. I rushed home. I was like, nah, I gotta get out of here a little early so I get home, make sure I'm ready for the show.
And then what I'll do on Facebook, I'll send you his page so you can y'all can link up and then you can
yeah. So
you can send the stuff to him. Y'all can coordinate and do y'all thing, and then that's how we'll do it. This has been another phenomenal Gentleman's Lounge. Had another fine gentleman in the crowd with us today. You see everybody's hotline going off because it's that time of day. It be like that sometimes. So everybody out there, stay blessed. Be safe out there. Have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Gentlemen's Talk, we will be back with a special post-Super Bowl episode on Tuesday because Monday, DJ Michael B going to be over there from the sidelines doing his thing over there. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am the world's greatest MILF Slayer. They call me Mr. GQ.
And I am the leader of the Baby Daddy Replaces, DJ Michael B. We out.
You out here replacing baby daddies?
That's what we do, man.
We do.
We out of there.
Peace. Thank you guys for having me, man.
All right, man.